And from son Manasseh, the men were counted off head by head, every male 20 years and older who was able to fight in the army, registered by clans and families. The tribe of Manasseh numbered 32,200. The line of Benjamin. The men were counted off head by head, every male 20 years and older who was able to fight in the army, registered by clans and families. The tribe of Benjamin numbered 35,400. The line of Dan. The men were counted off head by head, every male 20 years and older who was able to fight in the army, registered by clans and families. The tribe of Dan numbered 62,700. The line of Asher. The men were counted off head by head, every male 20 years and older who was able to fight in the army, registered by clans and families. The tribe of Asher numbered 41,500. The line of Naphtali. The men were counted off head by head, every male 20 years and older who was able to fight in the army, registered by clans and families. The tribe of Naphtali numbered 53,400. These are the numbers of those registered by Moses and Aaron, registered with the help of the leaders of Israel, 12 men, each representing his ancestral family. The sum total of the people of Israel 20 years old and over who were able to fight in the army, counted by ancestral family, was 603,550. The Levites, however, were not counted by their ancestral family, along with the others. God had told Moses, "The tribe of Levi is an exception. Don't register them. Don't count the tribe of Levi. Don't include them in the general census of the people of Israel. Instead, appoint the Levites to be in charge of the dwelling of the testimony, over all its furnishings and everything connected with it. Their job is to carry the dwelling and all its furnishings, maintain it, and camp around it. When it's time to move the dwelling, the Levites will take it down, and when it's time to set it up, the Levites will do it. Anyone else who even goes near it will be put to death. The rest of the people of Israel will set up their tents in companies, every man in his own camp under its own flag. But the Levites will set up camp around the dwelling." The people of Israel did everything that God commanded Moses. They did it all. Chapter 2. Marching Orders. God spoke to Moses and Aaron. He said, "The people of Israel are to set up camp circling the tent of meeting and facing it. Each company is to camp under its distinctive tribal flag. To the east, toward the sunrise, are the companies of the camp of Judah under its flag, led by Nahshon, son of Amminadab. His troops number 74,600. The tribe of Issachar will camp next to them, led by Nethanel, son of Zuar. His troops number 54,400. And the tribe of Zebulun is next to them, led by Eliab, son of Helon. His troops number 57,400. The total number of men assigned to Judah, troop by troop, is 186,400. They will lead the march. To the south are the companies of the camp of Reuben under its flag, led by Elizur, son of Shedeur. His troops number 46,500. The tribe of Simeon will camp next to them, led by Shelumiel, son of Zurishaddai. His troops number 59,300. And the tribe of Gad is next to them, led by Eliasaph, son of Duel. His troops number 45,650. The total number of men assigned to Reuben, troop by troop, is 151,450. They are second in the order of the march. The tent of meeting with the camp of the Levites takes its place in the middle of the march. Each tribe will march in the same order in which they camped, each under its own flag. To the west are the companies of the camp of Ephraim under its flag, led by Elishama, son of Ammihud. His troops number 40,500. The tribe of Manasseh will set up camp next to them, led by Gamaliel, son of Pedazur. His troops number 32,200. And next to him is the camp of Benjamin, led by Abidan, son of Gideoni. His troops number 35,400. The total number of men assigned to the camp of Ephraim, troop by troop, is 108,000 100. They are third in the order of the march. To the north are the companies of the camp of Dan under its flag, led by Ahiezer, son of Ammishaddai. His troops number 62,700. The tribe of Asher will camp next to them, led by Pagiel, son of Ochran. His troops number 41,500. And next to them is the tribe of Naphtali, led by Ahira, son of Enan. His troops number 53,400. The total number of men assigned to the camp of Dan number 157,600. They will set out under their flags last in the line of the march. These are the people of Israel, counted according to their ancestral families. The total number in the camps, counted troop by troop, comes to 603,550. Following God's command to Moses, the Levites were not counted in with the rest of Israel. The people of Israel did everything the way God commanded Moses. They camped under their respective flags. They marched by tribe with their ancestral families. Chapter 11. Foods. God spoke to Moses and Aaron. Speak to the people of Israel. Tell them, of all the animals on earth, these are the animals that you may eat. You may eat any animal that has a split hoof, divided in two, and that chews the cud, but not an animal that only chews the cud or only has a split hoof. For instance, the camel chews the cud, but doesn't have a split hoof, so it's unclean. The rock badger chews the cud, but doesn't have a split hoof, and so it's unclean. The rabbit chews the cud, but doesn't have a split hoof, so is unclean. The pig has a split hoof divided in two, but doesn't chew the cud, and so is unclean. You may not eat their meat nor touch their carcasses. They are unclean to you. Among the creatures that live in the water of the seas and streams, you may eat any that have fins and scales. But anything that doesn't have fins and scales, whether in seas or streams, whether small creatures in the shallows or huge creatures in the deeps, you are to detest. Yes, detest them. Don't eat their meat. Detest their carcasses. Anything living in the water that doesn't have fins and scales is detestable to you. These are the birds you are to detest. Don't eat them. They are detestable. Eagle, vulture, osprey, kite, all falcons, all ravens, ostrich, nighthawk, seagull, all hawks, owl, cormorant, ibis, waterhen, pelican, Egyptian vulture, stork, all herons, hoopoe, bat. All flying insects that walk on all fours are detestable to you, but you can eat some of these, namely, those that have jointed legs for hopping on the ground, all locusts, katydids, crickets, and grasshoppers. But all the other flying insects that have 4 legs, you are to detest. You will make yourselves ritually unclean until evening if you touch their carcasses. If you pick up one of their carcasses, you must wash your clothes, and you'll be unclean until evening. Every animal that has a split hoof that's not completely divided or that doesn't chew the cud is unclean for you. If you touch the carcass of any of them, you become unclean. Every 4-footed animal that goes on its paws is unclean for you. If you touch its carcass, you are unclean until evening. If you pick up its carcass, you must wash your clothes and are unclean until evening. They are unclean for you. Among the creatures that crawl on the ground, the following are unclean for you: weasel, rat, all lizards, gecko, monitor lizard, wall lizard, skink, chameleon. Among the crawling creatures, these are unclean for you. If you touch them when they are dead, you are ritually unclean until evening. When one of them dies and falls on something, that becomes unclean no matter what it's used for, whether it's made of wood, cloth, hide, or sackcloth. Put it in the water. It's unclean until evening, and then it's clean. If one of these dead creatures falls into a clay pot, everything in the pot is unclean, and you must break the pot. Any food that could be eaten but has water on it from such a pot is unclean, and any liquid that could be drunk from it is unclean. Anything that one of these carcasses falls on is unclean. An oven or cooking pot must be broken up. They're unclean and must be treated as unclean. A spring, though, or a cistern for collecting water remains clean. But if you touch one of these carcasses, you're ritually unclean. If a carcass falls on any seeds that are to be planted, they remain clean. But if water has been put on the seed and a carcass falls on it, you must treat it as unclean. If an animal that you are permitted to eat dies, anyone who touches the carcass is ritually unclean until evening. If you eat some of the carcass, you must wash your clothes, and you are unclean until evening. If you pick up the carcass, you must wash your clothes and are unclean until evening. Creatures that crawl on the ground are detestable and not to be eaten. Don't eat creatures that crawl on the ground, whether on their belly or on all fours or on many feet. They are detestable. Don't make yourselves unclean or be defiled by them, because I am your God. Make yourselves holy, for I am holy. Don't make yourselves ritually unclean by any creature that crawls on the ground. I am God who brought you up out of the land of Egypt. Be holy, because I am holy. These are the instructions on animals, birds, fish, and creatures that crawl on the ground. You have to distinguish between the ritually unclean and the clean, between living creatures that can be eaten and those that cannot be eaten.